What is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for all you rascals and rapscallions out there. Now today is going to be a short video, but it's a video I always look forward to making, and that is my horror collection update videos, because that's what we're all here for, right? We love blood, guts, gore, we love horror movies, we love physical media, so every time I grab a couple new titles, I like to make a little update video. So, bone apple teeth, let's get right into it. The very first one I have is Jaws, the new 4K that everybody has been talking about. Now, first of all, a lot of people don't consider Jaws a horror movie, which I think is absolutely absurd. Because, I mean, what else are you going to call it? It's not an action movie. I mean, you could argue it's an action movie, maybe. Is it a thriller? Is it a drama? A good movie has elements of everything in it, but at the end of the day, horror is horror. That's what we're here for. We love the horror movies. And this is the type of movie, you guys know me, I don't really collect 4K, but there's certain films I feel are justified to have the 4K that I should have. It's like Terminator Part 2, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Back to the Future, E.T., kind of like movies that are more of like summertime blockbusters, which I feel that is the reason this gets mixed out of the horror genre, because people look at it more like a big time summer blockbuster, which it was, but this is definitely horror. I haven't opened it yet. I meant to the other night, but yeah, 4K release of Jaws. Come on, man. It's the reason we're scared to swim in the water. Who isn't scared of sharks? I almost got ate by a shark in Florida one time, but I digress. That's a story for another time. So, hell yeah, this is going to be awesome up on my shelf. And I actually seen that they're going to release all the sequels on one Blu-ray. I seen it on Amazon. I think they're releasing it in a month or so. So, keep your eyes open for that. And then I have another one right here, which if you guys seen the Collection Reflection podcast that I was kind of pushing with my friend Tim, did an interview with me for his new podcast, which I will leave the link in the description below if you guys want to check that out. But he actually mentioned a movie that I bought before we said anything about it, which is funny because that is Don't Go in the Woods Alone. Now, when you get into the rabbit hole of collecting horror movies, you eventually have to go into more like exploitation and just like different styles of horror. So I looked up like the video nasties, like all the video nasties that were banned in England. If you guys don't know, video nasties were movies that came out in the 70s or 80s that were banned in England because they were labeled like too violent or too this or too that, not appropriate for, people to see. So obviously that sparks an interest in any horror fan. I'm like, oh, it's so violent or this or that, you can't see it. So I found the site and I went through a lot of these movies and I was looking them up, and this is one that stood out for me because, to plug the podcast again, the Collection Reflection, I explained to Tim, my good friend Tim, that the reason I like slasher movies are because they're more humanized, and it seems more realistic rather than other subgenres. But I digress. And the point is, that's why I bought the movie, because it was like a video nasty. I heard it was, kind of gory. I also heard it was pretty shitty. But it's kind of like, when they tell you you shouldn't watch it, you want to watch it more. But the point is, out of all the video nasties, this was a slasher. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. The cover artwork looks good. I believe this is Vinegar Syndrome, which never can do you wrong. So yeah, I grabbed this one. And then in my hunt for video nasties, I found another one. I believe this is from the late 70s. And this one is considered a lot worse, not in context of like a bad movie, but like in terms of violence and like nudity and just like exploitation. But this is the Toolbox Murders. Pretty much it's a guy in a ski mask going all over a college dorm and killing all these women. And I mean, I read the reviews a little bit, so it's not completely a blind buy. So, like, I heard a lot of negative things, but I heard a lot of good things, and the good outweighed the negatives. At least in my eyes, as a horror fan, I like that. Well, I don't want to give it anyway, at least until I see it. So, yeah, this is another one I'm looking forward to checking out. Never heard of it once before, so it's gonna be kind of fun. Now we got Battery. this is a zombie flick. Now, I'm very conflicted with my zombie movies because though I mentioned in the Collection Reflection podcast, which I'm going to plug that until the day I die because it was awesome. I'll be back again. Like I said, link in the description for the podcast interview. But we talked about my favorite type of movies, which I said were slashers, but I have a soft spot in my heart for zombie flicks. The first three George Romero movies were like my whole childhood. And I feel like when Walking Dead came out, which I do like, at least from what I've seen, I haven't seen the last 2, maybe 3 seasons, kind of fizzled out a little bit, but when that craze was going on with The Walking Dead, a lot of zombie movies were released. And zombie movies should be easy to make, especially with practical effects. So a lot of these straight to DVD movies, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that has a stigma of it being like a shitty movie. I call them sci-fi channel movies, the bad ones. But they were all these zombie movies coming out were on the same levels like Sharknado, all these shark movies. It's like shitty CGI, shitty acting, just like bad movies, trying like a cash grab. I can't blame it. Hate the game, not the player. Make your money, man. But it's you really have to read between the lines to find a good zombie movie. And though I've heard bad reviews about this movie, I've heard a lot of good things. Like they take a different approach. Apparently, it's like 2 former baseball players who are trying to travel to find safety, and the one guy is kind of like an outgoing go-getter, and the other guy is kind of more reserved, trying to like just find a safe place to stay. So, and I hear the conflict between the two is really good and fun. Which this is on YouTube. I bought it anyways, just as a collector. I wanted this on my shelf because I think it's gonna be pretty good. Because a lot of the times, the best zombie movies are the ones that have conflict between humans rather than the zombies. That's like the fun little twist on it. There's a lot of like lost my train of thought. My bad. All right, so my fourth one is Terrifier. Now, this is apparently a character from the anthology All Hallows Eve, which I tried to pick up, but it's out of print, very expensive. If anybody's familiar with James A. Janice with Dead Meat, he does the kill count, which we all like to watch. I went to watch this kill count of Terrifier, and then right when he said, "Oh, we need to add for this because this is going to be demonetized because the gore is so much, it's so good, the practical effects," I shut the review right then and there, and I go, I gotta watch this for myself because, like I said, everyone knows I am a fan of practical effects and gore. So I mean, I don't really like clowns, but I'm not thinking about that really. I just want to see the kills, man. I want to see the gore. It says on the cover, makes Pennywise look like, was it Krusty? I get you're trying to sell the DVD. I don't think that was needed. That don't really matter, though. I digress again. Then the very last title I got, I believe this is a Canadian release. If you guys have ever seen... Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I recognize this guy from Hobo with a Shotgun. And that was a pretty wild movie. This is VFW, which I love the premise of this movie without watching it yet. Apparently, all these old cats are in the VFW, war veterans, and some young girl runs into the VFW running away from these thugs and drug dealers or whatever, and then all these old cats gotta weapon up and fight off the gang. I was reluctant on buying this because I heard it was more of like a drama, thriller, action, but not that will hold me back from buying a film, but I was hoping it would be more horror. So yeah, I picked this one up. I'm really excited to watch this one because if it's anything like Hobo with a Shotgun, that movie was filmed so great. Not necessarily my style, what I like, but I enjoyed it a lot. And, of course, nice little slip cover. I'm a fan of that. I can never complain. But, yeah, guys, that's pretty much all the movies I picked up. I got 6 new flicks I'm excited to check out. And I want you guys to know, first and foremost, that I'm starting a new segment on my channel. It's going to be called Blind Buy Reviews. So pretty much most of these, 5 out of 6, can be a blind buy review. Where I want to... Because when I first made my classic horror review segment, I know they go about 20 minutes or so. I don't really give a shit about like not giving away the spoilers or not making it entertaining enough, because where I come from, man, I just like to talk about horror movies because all I do is work and wrestle and watch movies. So that was the whole point of the channel in the first place. And it's like I don't want to leave nothing out because I just kind of want to talk about movies, which most of my close friends aren't into horror like I am. So that was the point of the classic horror reviews. Now this new segment, blind buy reviews, are pretty much a lot of these movies that I don't know much about that I'm going to watch for the first time ever. And I'm going to do more of like a 6 to 8 minute kind of review with no spoilers, just if you should buy it or not. So I think it might be better, something I'm going to try out. It might be better for like people who don't want to sit through my ass rambling on for 20 minutes like I'm doing right now. But yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions of movies you want me to check out, I would prefer if they're on a streaming service, unless I can find them on Amazon for pretty cheap. If the title is right, I'll buy it, I'll review it, I'll let y'all know what I think. And yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it with this little update video. And I really appreciate everybody watching these videos. I mean, like I said before, I make 20-minute reviews. I never thought more than one person would watch them, but I appreciate everybody watches my content because I'm just a regular dude from Detroit, Michigan, watching some horror flicks that I think are pretty cool. So I'm trying to work with you guys and figure out some stuff, some better content, stuff that you guys might like more. Other than that, man, you know, this COVID's going around, you know, take care of yourselves, wear a mask when you go out, you fucking prick. Wash your ass, wear a mask, be nice to people, you know? Other than that, watch a fucking horror movie today. Hey, Tim, you better watch Slumber Party Massacre. So, yeah, like I said, Tim was the one that runs the Collection Reflection podcast. He wants me to watch Dr. Sleep, which will probably be my first episode ever of Blind Buy Views. Only if you watch a Slumber Party Massacre in return, which you guys should watch it too. But, like I said, I'll leave the link below to the podcast I did. Follow him on social media for Collection Reflection. And like I said, it's too hot outside. Fucking watch horror movies. Like, comment, subscribe. Blood Good Score. I will check you guys next time.